So each camera is going to be its own individual sprite. So let's begin. We'll create a sprite, and let's start with the show stage. So we'll call this show stage. And you will need to create every single iteration of the show stage. Which here is mine. So we have all the animatronics light off and light on. Make sure you have your light on too. There's Bonnie being gone with the light on, Chica being gone with the light on, and everybody being gone. And if you know FNAF 2, if there's no animatronic on the show stage, the light can't even be turned on. So we will have to name these accordingly so that we understand how the light works. So let's name these accordingly. I'll move this guy up to the top, this empty one, and we will call this S000, meaning nobody's there. Next, I will cover when it's just Freddy and Chica, which is S011, because Bonnie is gone, and Freddy is there, and Chica is there. 011. 011. Next, we need the same thing, but with the light on, which instead of calling it S, we'll call it L011. Next, we'll cover just Freddy, which is S010, and then Freddy with a light on, which is L010. And then finally, we will do S00 or S111, and this one would be L111. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's hop into the code. When I receive menu, hide, and stop other scripts in the sprite. Next, when I receive game start, we'll make a block called movement, as in the movement of the camera, how the camera pans back and forth. So let's figure out how the movement's going to work. So repeat until, which is going to act as a forever loop. We'll put go to 0, 0. Then we will check if, with an and symbol, with an equal on both sides. We will check the camera number. If the camera number is 09, which is what show stage is, and if camera up is 1. And camera up is 1. We will use the glide control again. So glide. We'll say 5 seconds is how long this should take. 2, I know how it works for mine. Your cameras will be different depending on how big they are. -90 and Y is 0. Then it will wait 1 second. Or wait 1 second afterwards. And then it'll check this again. Camera's 9 and camera up is 1. Glide 5 seconds to 0, 0. And then check it again to 90. Wait 1 second. Check it. And glide back to 0, 0. That's how the camera movement's going to work. It's pretty simple. Okay. Now, we will run another when I receive game start. This is where we will set the animatronic numbers of this camera. So we have Toy Bonnie. Toy Bonnie location set to 09. Toy Freddy location 09. Toy Chica location 09. We're going to double check that we're setting the camera when the game starts to the office. We set camera to office. And then we set camera number to 09, since 09 is the default camera that it's set to. If you obviously set camera number on this game start to whatever is your default camera. FNAF 2's default camera is camera 9. Then we will repeat until. This is where we will choose a size. 100 might work for you. In my case, something like 150 or 160. There, 160. fills up my entire screen. Again, yours might be something completely different, but 160 works for me. So we set size to 160. Grab an if else, and we check if camera up equals 1. And put another if else inside, and we check if camera number equals 09. We will clear graphic effects, go to front layer, have it go backwards a few layers because of the buttons that need to show up, and we will show else hide and else hide. There we go. Now we're going to get to the really, really big segment of code. Again, you can copy the way I did it for FNAF 1, but I don't want to be repetitive in my code. I'll say it again. So I'm showing you a different way to do cameras that you may like better. So, we repeat until, and check if greater than, but if power is greater than 0. Okay. We will check if, since there are 3 characters that can be on this camera, we will need 3 ands, so just like this, and then a 4th and for every other one. So the reason being is we will need to check if equals, put an equals on each one of these, and in this last one you'll put a not. This not is space pressed or whatever you want your light to be. Set all of these to 09. And then these will be, we can do them in order. I'll do them from left to right, or actually I'll do them from top to bottom. So Toy Bonnie location, Toy Chica location, and Toy Freddy location equals 09. So if Toy Bonnie's location is 9, Toy Chica's location is 9, Freddy's location is 9, and you're not flashing the light, then we need to switch costume to S111, which is no light on. We duplicate what we have and put it inside. And we get rid of the not and we put the space in there. If they're all there and your light is on, we set it to L111, which is light on with all of them there. And we'll do this for every single type of location that we have. So in Toy Bonnie here, let's make Toy Bonnie leave. We can put not Toy Bonnie location is 9. Is, and we say if you're not touching the light. Then we set it to L011, which should be no Bonnie and no light. Or S011, which is no Bonnie and no light. Duplicate what we have. Only thing we switch is getting rid of this not. So if you are pressing it, this will be L011. Let's make another one. Say Bonnie is here. Actually, no, Toy Bonnie is never here with somebody. So not Toy Bonnie. And not Toy Chica. And you're not touching the light. This will be 01, or this will be S010. Which is just Freddy all alone in the dark. Duplicate it again, and just change this not to being the key space is pressed, and that's L010, which is Freddy standing alone in the light. Then we check if not Toy Bonnie, not Toy Chica, and not Toy Freddy is 9, and you're not touching the light. Switch the costume to S000, which is nobody there. And then one more, where the only change is setting this to, you are pressing the light, set it to 0, 0, 0, or if else, 0, 0, 0. And there's every possible combination of how the animatronics are in this camera. Next, we will need to work on one of the party rooms since our show stage is done. So we'll start with party room 1. And I'll import everything from party room 1. Which are all of these. I want to name these accordingly. So this one is just dark. This one is just plain light. This one, since Withered Bonnie's in it, would be light Withered Bonnie. And this one would be light Toy Chica. I'm gonna make sure you label these so it's easy for you to understand them when you're looking at the code. Let's get it started. When I receive menu, you will hide and stop other scripts in the sprite. So I know that my size that I want for these is 160, just like my other ones, so that it's free to move back and forth. I'm actually just going to take the movement code from the last one, put it in here. One thing that you will notice is that it is a different size. If you take a look here, the cameras of this one are a square of 479, 360 about, and then this one was a lot longer, which would mean our code wouldn't be identical, but by zooming it in like this, it's identical, at least for me. Again, for you, I'm assuming that all of your cameras will be the same size, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you are copying the game, then it'll be a little bit different for you. So, when I receive game start, we will broadcast, make a block called movement. And just like the same, put the movement right on there. Now, since this camera doesn't have as many different characters in it as the show stage does, the code is a lot smaller and more condensed and a lot easier to work with. Before we set up who shows on the cameras, we're going to make another when I receive. Have the when I receive game start. Put a repeat until. You have to choose its size. In my case is 160. Yours may be something else. And we will run the same code that we saw right here. So I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to put it right underneath, just like that. And now we can move on to how the showing of the costumes actually work. So we can do game start, grab a repeat until, and we'll put an if statement in here. Have it say if camera number equals 01. Then we want an if else statement. Says put an and inside. If key space pressed or whatever your flashlight button is. And power is greater than 0. We will check if from equals sign Toy Chica location is 01, since party room 1 is 01, you will set it to light Toy Chica because your light is on. Else, if Withered Bonnie location is 1, we set this to light Withered Bonnie. Or else, we just set it to light. And this else, we just set to dark. Since when it's dark, you can't see the animatronics anyways like you can with this. You can see the animatronics when the lights are off. You can't see the animatronics when the lights are off in this camera. So that's all you need to do. Fantastic. Now I want to get a party room that has... Party room 2 has something a little different. So party room 2. So I will import party room 2. Here we go. So we're gonna make dark old Chica first. Doesn't necessarily matter the order. So this is just dark withered Chica. This is just dark. This is just light. This is light Toy Bonnie. So we'll name it as such. And this is light withered Chica. Let's hop into it. We can simply grab this and pop it in there. Grab this and put it in there, and grab movement and put it in there. We can grab this game start and put it in there. And we will get to that in a minute. Let's clean up these blocks. All this works just as it should. Everything looks fine. Start. This makes sense, except changing 09 instead to 02. Party room say 09? This party room does say 09. This party room needs to say 01. First party room is 01. So now we can begin the programming of showing the right costume. Since this one does something a little bit different, I want to show it. Since there's only one animatronic that is able to be visible in the dark, where Toy Bonnie is not able to be visible when you don't have the camera flashing on it. So, repeat until if equals camera number equals 2, which is the camera that this is camera 2. We'll run an if and then an and. Say if key space pressed, or again whatever your light button is, and your power is greater than 0, so we'll put that in there. Power is greater than 0. I'll run an if else statement that says if equals if withered Chica location equals 02, switch costume to light withered Chica. Else, if Toy Bonnie location equals 2, switch costume to light Toy Bonnie. Else, just switch it to light. Else, we run an if else statement. Right, if your light's not on. If withered Chica's location equals 2, you'll switch costume to dark withered Chica, or else just dark. There you go. That's that camera. Party room 3 is identical to party room 2, but instead of withered Chica, it's withered Freddy, so I didn't bother showing you how to do that. Something I will mention is make sure that in your movement scripts for each camera, the camera number is selected to the right camera. The next interesting one I want to get into is party room 4, which does have something a little bit special in it, so let's move on to that. Party room 4. The special thing in party room 4 is there's the special instance where the paper plate character isn't there. So let me implement the party room 4 assets. All right, and you see right here there's a special costume for when there's no paper plate. This one is just dark. Again, label all of these accordingly. This is light. This is dark Toy Bonnie. Light Toy Bonnie. Light Toy Chica. Light Withered Chica. And I'm just going to call this light no paper plate. Fantastic. This is majorly the exact same thing, so I'm just going to drag the menu script, the game start script, the movement script, the other game start script, and I'm also just going to grab the camera script too and move that all in there. Clean up all this stuff. Changing this out to 04 since this is party room 4, so the camera number does change to 4. Okay, change 4 here. Change 4 here, here, and here, and here. Okay. So, only thing that needs to change here is first we check if Toy Bonnie's location is here. If it is, we set it to light toy Bonnie. Then we check if Withered Chica's location is here. We set it to Withered Chica, light Withered Chica. Then we check if Toy Chica is here. Set it to light Toy Chica. Then we have to check, we have to make a variable for the paper plates. So we can set paper plate, and then again, if you want to keep track of what numbers equal what, you can put it into the name of the variable. For example, 0 equals cam 4. In this case, 1 equals nowhere, and 2 will equal in office. So you can name it like that so you can understand and keep track of it. The last thing we check here is if the paper plate equals 0, then you make it light. If not, then it would be light, no paper plate. Then down here, you check if Toy Bonnie location is 04, it'd be dark Toy Bonnie, and then light Toy Bonnie. And this Toy Bonnie wouldn't actually be Toy Bonnie. This would be Toy... no, yeah, it would. Toy Bonnie. There we go. There's Party Room 4 all set up. So the left vent does something a little interesting. In terms of it has the endoskeleton in it. So we'll look at left vent real quick. Let's import all the assets. And just label them as normal, dark, light, Withered Bonnie. Because again, you can't see any of them when it's dark. Balloon Boy, Toy Chica, and Endoskeleton. Cool, again, this is pretty much the same thing. These cameras are pretty much always identical, with just a few things differing here and there. Let's hop into it and finish this up real quick. This camera, left vent, should be 05, I believe. Yep, it is. So 05. Don't forget to switch these out in your movements too, so that your camera actually moves when you're on the right one. 05, 05, 05, 05, and 05. So we don't need this paper plate part. What we do need is to, first of all, endoskeleton takes highest priority. That's why we list these. They are in the order of priority that they should show. So if the endoskeleton location, since endoskeleton should be highest priority, it's an Easter egg, so its priority should go over any other animatronic. If the endoskeleton location is this, then we'll set it to endoskeleton. All right, great. Then we check for Toy Chica, should be our next one, since Toy Chica comes into the vent and then comes in, and then you can see her in the room, Toy Chica. And then we will do Withered Bonnie for Withered Bonnie, and then Balloon Boy for Balloon Boy. Since this is a vent, there will be a lot of vent walk sounds inside of here. So before we do anything, let's throw in the vent walk sounds. Okay. Then after Balloon Boy, this one, we should set volume to 0 and just switch costume to light. Underneath here, you should just switch volume to 0 and set it to dark. There we go. This isn't all in left vent. There's quite a bit more to go on in here in terms of the sounds. So let's make one more. Let's do one receive, game start. You'll repeat until, and we'll check an if else. We'll go if equals 05. We'll start with if Toy Chica location, that's Toy Freddy, equals 05. We will set the volume to 100 and play sound, pick random 1 to 2, play a random vent walk sound, and then you will wait until not Toy Chica equals 5. Toy Chica location equals 5. This will stop it from constantly playing the vent walk sound whenever there's an animatronic inside. Else, we'll duplicate this, change this to Withered Bonnie. Withered Bonnie location. Same thing, except just duplicate this and make it Withered Bonnie. Next, the other one that can be in here is Balloon Boy. So, Balloon Boy location. And since Endoskeleton is an Easter egg, Endoskeleton doesn't make noise when he enters the vent. And set that to 0. And there you go. That's where the left vent stops. Right vent is pretty much the exact same. Right vent is almost identical. Right vent actually is identical, just with different animatronics. So I will do right vent, and once I'm done with right vent, I will be right back. Alright, there we go. I finished setting up the left vent. And now we can move on to the main hall, which does have some pretty interesting mechanics to it. So let's make a new sprite and call it main hall. And I'll import all the cameras that you'll need for it. So you're immediately going to notice some pretty interesting stuff here. And the interesting things you'll see are the marionette. The marionette does actually show up in the office, or in the main hall. And it just depends on if you're looking at the cameras whence the marionette leaves. So this is Light Withered Bonnie. Make sure again you're labeling all these so you understand what they are. Light Withered Freddy. This is Dark Toy Chica. Light Toy Chica. And then these I am going to call Marionette 1, Marionette 2, and Marionette 3 for the 3 ways that she can work. So again, mostly it's the same. It's not much different from the other cameras. It's pretty easy. There's just very small difference in how it works. One of those is there's no vent walk sounds. You don't got to worry about vent walk sounds in this one. So let's figure it out. Main hall is the 7th camera. So we set this to 07. Switch all these movements to 07. Switch that to 07. And switch all these possibilities to 07. Okay, let's get started. So let's start with Toy Chica, since she has 2 opportunities to show. So Toy Chica location equals 07. We set it to Light Toy Chica. If Withered Bonnie location, do Light Withered Bonnie. Withered Freddy location, Light Withered Freddy. And else it's just light. Since the puppet only appears, or the marionette only appears when the lights are off at this part. So then we will run a if Toy Chica location is 7, it'd be Dark Toy Chica. Else, if we're going to make a variable called marionette status, which we will mess around with later. If the marionette status is 4, which again, we'll get to this later, just where the marionette is, we set it to marionette 1. If it's 5, set it to marionette 2. Sorry about that. And if it's 6, we set it to marionette 3, or else it's just dark. There we go. There's something a little bit interesting about how this one works. Kids Cove is really easy. It's just where Mangle is, so I'm not going to bother showing you that one. parts and service does do something a little special. So I'll get Kids Cove done, and then we'll do parts and service together. All right, I got Kids Cove done, so now let's do parts and service together. So parts and service. I will import all the parts and service assets, because there are two special occasions to this one, which are Shadow Freddy and Foxy. So this one, even though you can see Bonnie, Freddy, and Chica in this one, we're just going to call it Light Bonnie, because Bonnie has to leave before the other two can. This is just dark, which I find interesting because you can see Chica if you look really closely, and you can kind of see Freddy too. This one is Light Chica, because Chica's mainly in frame. This one is Light Freddy. This is just light. Oops. Light Foxy. And this is just Shadow Freddy. You can do Light Shadow Freddy, but it doesn't really matter. Again, most of it is the same. It's just the costume work. So you can import all this, all the movement stuff. First game start and the second game start. Come in here, we'll clean it up. This is camera 8. This is camera 8. So we set this to 08. Copy it across all of these. 8, 8. Okay. So if Withered Bonnie location, we know how this goes, is 8. Set this to Light Bonnie. If Chica location is 08, we set it to Withered Chica, or Light Chica. If Freddy, and this is in order of priority, since Chica can't show up in the main frame until Bonnie leaves. Bonnie is first, then Chica, then Freddy. And then Foxy takes priority. Withered Foxy and Light Foxy. Else, we will just switch the costume. Oh, well, actually, Shadow Freddy actually takes priority over Foxy, excuse me. Shadow Freddy takes priority over Foxy. So I have to make a variable called Shadow Freddy. And we will check if Shadow Freddy equals 1. If it is, then it'll be Shadow Freddy. And then it goes for Foxy, and otherwise it just does light. Else, it's just dark. There you go. That's how you set up that. And Shadow Freddy will do his thing later on. So the game area does nothing special. There's nothing special about the game area, besides the fact that you can see two animatronics at the same time. That's the only difference. So I'll show you how to do it just in case you guys get confused. So we'll do game area. We'll pop the game area open, because you can see Balloon Boy and Toy Freddy at the same time at one point, and that might confuse some people. So you should have to do it. This is Dark BB. This is Light BB. This is just dark. This is just light. This is Light Freddy and BB. And this is just Light Freddy. Okay. Once again, most of it is the same. Just drag it all in. Fantastic. Clean these up. Movement. The game area, I believe, is 10. It is. Yes, it is. Okay, so we set this to 10. Okay. So the first thing we'll check is we'll actually run an AND here to check for 2 animatronics. One is BB. BB location is 10. And Toy Freddy location is 10. That's Toy Bonnie. Freddy location says to light Freddy and BB. Next, we'll just do BB since it's more common for him to be there. You do light BB. Toy Freddy. And you just do to light Freddy. Yep, got it. There is no shadow Freddy, so don't gotta worry about that. Actually, if it's light Freddy, that's the only other options. It's just light, and then the only thing that changes down here is checking if Balloon Boy is in the dark. Then you set it to dark BB or else just dark. And there you go. That's how you do 2 characters on a camera just by doing something simple like that. And then finally the prize corner, which this one does get a little bit interesting. So we will do it together. This prize corner is the big puppet one, the big marionette one. So we'll import all the sprites, one of which does have the endoskeleton in there. So this first one is light. This one is light puppet 1. Or light marionette 1. I'm just going to do puppet because it's quicker. This is light puppet 2. And this is light puppet 3 when the flaps are open. This is just dark. And this is light endoskeleton. Because again, endoskeleton can also be on this frame. Again, most of it is the same. Just a few differences with how the puppet works. And then there's also music on this camera as well. Then after this, we'll set up the music box. So this is camera 11, I believe. It is. So we set this to 11. And we move all these out. 11, 11, 11. There can only be one of these guys, so it doesn't really matter. 11, 11, and 11. Okay. So let's figure this out. So the first thing I'm actually going to check is if the endoskeleton is there. So endoskeleton, if it's 11, then we do light endoskeleton. We're going to make a variable just called marionette. Okay. And we're going to check if marionette equals 11. Then we have to check if marionette status equals 1. Set it to light puppet 1. If marionette status equals 2, set it to light puppet 2. If marionette status equals 3, set it to light puppet 3. And if marionette status, this can just be normal if, equals 0, then we just set it to light. We can set this one to light and this bottom else to dark. And there you go. That's how you do prize corner. Setting that up. Now we can work on the actual music box buttons. So this will do the wind button to wind the music box. So here I implemented it. We got the winds. You got it when it's normal and when you are winding it up. Named 0 and 1 for, again, 0 or off and on, just like how we did with the lights. Now let's set this up. This is pretty easy. I'm going to did we not? Ooh, look at this prize corner. We didn't drag in the menu to the prize corner, so do that. Drag it into here too. Okay, so we are in the wind button, per usual. Looks just like this. So let's do a game start. When I receive game start, we will set size to whatever you want. My case is 100. I think it looks just fine at this size. And then we will do a repeat until. Repeat until has us go to the front layer. And then just as an adjustment to go backwards 0 layers. It's some weird scratch thing. It makes it work better sometimes. In this case, it's one of those cases. And go to the location you want it. This will change depending on how it works for you. In my case, is -10, -90. We need to grab an if-else statement. Put it right here. Where we will check if camera up equals 1. Then we have to check an if-else and say if camera number equals 11 for the camera that the prize corner is. Then the wind button shows, and its brightness effect is at 5. To give it, this should be a set. To give it kind of a little bit of a brighter effect. It's not very noticeable, but it looks nice. Then we have to run another if-else. Check if mouse is down. We will set volume to 100. Set brightness effect to 0. And switch the costume to wind 1, which is when it is on and being wound. Else, we will set the volume to 0 and the wind up to 0 as well. And else, set the wind up to 0 like this. And we will set the brightness effect to 0 here. I forgot to turn this this camera statement to an else. We forgot a very important if statement in here, which is if right here, if touching mouse pointer. If it is touching the mouse pointer, then we set volume to 0. And we set that brightness effect to 5. And then we run the mouse just like this. This one gets moved up 1. Whoop. Then we should have 2 empty if-else statements down here. The second one should set it to 0. Set the wind up to 0. And hide it, because we're not on the camera. And then the final one does the exact same thing. So there you go. There's how that works. There's one more game start we have to do for this one. So when I receive game start, we will grab a repeat until. Say go to front layer. Then again, we'll go backwards 0, just as that little adjustment. You'll play sound. We have to add the winding up sound, which sounds like this. So we will play sound, wind up until done. Then you can wait any amount of time. If you look here, 0.28. So I'm going to choose 1.12. Again, this will work differently for you. 1.12 works for me with this sound. It'll probably be a little bit different for whatever sound you use. Or if you use this one, do 0.12. I think it works great. There you go. That's all you need for the wind up button. Now we actually need the music box. The music box timer right here is what this will be. So let me throw those in. There we go. And keep an empty costume on this one at the bottom. Make sure it's at the bottom though, an empty costume with nothing in it. And then all your other ones. Oh, look at that. I think they mix up here somewhere. 13, 12, 14, 12. So yeah. Let me get these in order. There we go. Fixed it up. Now they are all in order, as you can see here. They fill up to the maximum and then have an empty costume at the end, just what we need. So let's set this up. Again, pretty easy, nothing too hard. We're going to grab this and throw it in so that we have the menu, stop with the description, the sprite, and hide. Pretty normal. Now we will need the music box. Music. So I'll import that, which you guys should all know what that sounds like. Yep, everybody knows that one. So we'll say when I receive game start. We'll put in a repeat until. Play that sound until done. And then wait 0 seconds. There's a difference between 0 seconds and not putting a 0 second in there. 0 second actually makes you wait, I think, about 2 or 3 frames, whereas having nothing in there is instant. So if you put that in there, it'll wait just a little amount of time, and it's the perfect amount to make the melody finish in its entirety. So another when I receive game start, we will put a repeat until down, in which we will say go to. Again, this will change for wherever you want this. I find that -90 and -83 work for me. We will then set size to whatever you want. 75 works for my case because this guy is kind of big, so I want him to be around the same size as the button, just a little bit bigger. And if he's at, so if I put him at 75, it lines up with the box pretty well. So we will have him go to the front layer. Then we need an if else. Say if, grab an equals sign, camera up, if camera up equals 1. Then we have to check if equals 11. We have to check if the camera number equals 11. If camera number equals 11, we will show. Grab an if else. Say if, put equals. Grab this backdrop number of stage, switch stage to wind button. Say if volume of wind button equals 0. We set the volume of the timer to 50. So it's not playing the sound super, super loud. If else, set the volume to 50. And we check if not equals, we grab costume number. If costume number does not equal 21. So if you look at what costume number 21 is, costume number 21 is the full complete circle. If you have more or less of these, that number will change, but it should be the number of your completely full timer. Then what needs to happen is next costume, go to front layer and wait. I choose 0.28 is how fast I want it to be able to move. And then we write hide and set volume to 0 here. And same goes for this bottom one. Fantastic. We're doing good. We have another game start. So when I receive game start, we will start by switching the costume to the full timer. Then we check if the night is equal to 1. If it is, we want to wait for that phone call to pretty much be done. So 123 seconds for my phone call usually works for me. Yours is obviously going to be different. Then I'll put a repeat until underneath here, and we'll run an if statement inside. That says we're going to check this exact same thing if the volume of the wind button is 0. So if volume of wind button equals 0, then we will run an if else statement that says equals and say if not equals costume number and 1, costume number doesn't equal 1, then we will switch costume to, put a minus symbol inside of here, find costume number, put it right there, and a 1 in the second one, so it'll go down if the volume or if the costume mover isn't 1, which is this one, then it will switch it by a negative. It'll move it down a costume. Or else, if it is 1, it will hide. It will stop other scripts in the sprite. It'll switch to that empty costume that we wanted you to that I wanted you to keep. And then it will broadcast that music box unwind that we touched earlier when working on the endoskeleton. And then we want to stop this script. Underneath here, you'll run an if statement right here. It says if night equals 1, wait, we'll say 7 seconds. Okay, this is recording how fast the box goes down. On night 1, every 7 seconds it goes down. On night 2, every 6 seconds it goes down. On night 3, every 5 seconds it goes down. And again, you can adjust these however you want. If night is 4, it goes down every 4 seconds. On night 5, it goes down every 3 seconds. And on night 6 or 7, because they work the same. On night 6 or night 7, it goes down every 2.5 seconds. There you go. That is how the music box works. Very great. Because it changes based off of the volume. If the volume is 0, it'll move and it'll check if it's 0 to be able to move it upwards and downwards. Now, with our cameras done, we can head back to our Mangle and continue our Mangle AI that we didn't get to finish before. Remember, we were down here and we weren't able to finish our Mangle AI, but now we can. So let's finish Mangle's AI up. So let's move this over a little bit. Mangle's location equals 11. We have to set this to the prize corner since camera 11 is the prize corner. Again, this will be whatever it is for you. So prize corner, X position of prize corner, and 75 works for me. We'll put her up at the top. Next, if Mangle location is 10, go to the front layer, blah, blah, and then she goes to the game area. And negative 110 works. I'm also going to put a go backwards about 20 layers on each one of these. Just so making sure she is behind static and possibly behind like other things like music box and the maps and the buttons. Just making sure she's behind all that stuff that she needs to be behind. Next, after 10, she can be at 7. So if her location is 7, that is the main hall. So we set it to main hall. And 110. Oh, my 10 is 95. My 10 is 95. After 7, she can be in 2. She's in 2. We will set her size to 65 if she's in 2. That reminds me, if she's in 7, she should be 75. Same thing if she's in 10, she should be 75. There we go. After that, this should be 0. Next, if Mangle location equals office, she's in the office. Size 65, yes. She goes to X position of the office. And again, this will change based on how your office works, but I find that X position of office plus 100, again, works just how the lights and how Golden Freddy works. Plus 100 and 120 to stick her to the ceiling. Just close that if statement off. And there we go. Now Mangle will show up and move around as she should. Next thing we're going to work on is showing the animatronics in the hallway when they're in the hallway. So come to your office sprite because we are going to add the rest of the office costumes. So I'll throw them in. You can see all the other animatronics and how they get into the halls. Fantastic. We will need to name these accordingly so that they're easy to understand, because we are going to be doing something very specific with our naming system. So we are not adding the characters in the office just yet. So let's get to our first one with Chica in here. So Toy Chica, we will name 0 Toy Chica 0. For the 2 zeros, meaning the vent lights are off, right? This will be 0 Mangle 0. This one will be 0 Toy Freddy 0. This one will be 0 Withered Bonnie 0. 0 Withered Freddy 0. 0 Withered Foxy 0. 0 Golden Freddy 0. And now here's where we get some special ones. Only difference here is this is 0 Withered Foxy plus 0 Withered Bonnie 0. And then this one would be 0 Withered Foxy plus Mangle 0. There we go. These are all the hall animatronics. We also need to add all the vent animatronics. So let's do the left vent options. So this would be Toy Chica 0 0 for Toy Chica 0 and 0. This would be BB 0 0. And now we add in the right vent, which these are 0 0 Toy Bonnie for 0 0 and Toy Bonnie, and then 0 0 Mangle. Fantastic, there we go. We got the rest of these in here. In terms of the non-attack ones. You know what? We actually will do the animatronics when they're attacking you. We already did the code for it. We might as well get them in the room with you too. Alright, so here I've implemented the actual attack places. So we're just going to call this big one Toy Freddy. I call this one Withered Freddy. This one Withered Bonnie. And this one Withered Chica. Fantastic. Don't forget to be saving all the time. So, underneath this game start, remember when we talked about this if statement? Well, we're using it now. So we'll pull this out for now, and what we will do is we will say an equal sign, and we will first of all check if Toy Freddy's in the office. So if Toy Freddy in office is 1, switch costume to Toy Freddy. Else, if Withered Bonnie in office, switch costume to Withered Bonnie. If Withered Freddy, or if Withered Chica, let's do that one next. If Withered Chica in office is 1, switch to Withered Chica. And finally, if Withered Freddy is in office, switch costume to Withered Freddy. If else, switch costume to the office code. Fantastic. There's that section. So, let's quickly make a sprite for... Ooh, actually, find your Toy Bonnie attack and Chica attack costume. And we will add the actual Toy Bonnie attack sprite to it. Which is right there, he's chilling. And when we receive Toy Bonnie attack, we will set Toy Bonnie in office to 1. That's Withered Bonnie, excuse me. Toy Bonnie in office to 1. And we'll make a new variable called Toy Bonnie office X. And we will set Toy Bonnie office X to -500. Okay. We will run an if-else statement saying if mask up equals 1, we will show and repeat. This will change depending on your game, but mine is 125. We will go to front layer and then go backwards about 20. Make sure we're behind all of the stuff like the mask and stuff. We will go to, gonna go ahead and put minus in this one right here. And we will say the office here, X position of the office minus is going to be your Toy Bonnie X, or your Toy Bonnie attack X, Toy Bonnie office X, whatever you happen to call it, and then whatever your Y position is. My case is 0. Then we will change Toy Bonnie office X by 5. Then we'll run an if statement saying if not mask up equals 1, hide, and then broadcast death dot animatronic dot Toy Bonnie. Then we will stop other scripts in this sprite and stop this script. Underneath the loop with an arrow, I'm going to put hide and broadcast Toy Bonnie .go.03. And then duplicate what we have here and put it in that final if. And then underneath all of this, set Toy Bonnie in office to 0. So, we have the in office sound, which we will have to run here. So, when I receive Toy Bonnie attack, we'll have to check first if not equals Withered Bonnie in office is 1. Got to make sure all the other animatronics aren't in the office. So Withered Bonnie, Withered Chica, Withered Freddy, and Toy Freddy all equal that. Then you can also start sound in office, so that when Bonnie is there, the in office sound begins playing. Then in your Toy Bonnie AI, you will grab a when I receive Toy Bonnie Go 03. You will set Toy Bonnie location to 03 and then start being 03. There we go. There's your Toy Bonnie attack all done. Now we can head back up to our office and continue working with what we were working on. So, when in our office, when we receive Toy Bonnie attack, we need to do a few things. We will repeat until equals Toy Bonnie in office. Repeat until Toy Bonnie in office equals 0. We will set the brightness effect to 0. Then we will wait a very, very small amount of time. So you can do like 0.0001. Oh, wait, oops, excuse me. Put a pick random in there. 0.001 or 0001 if you want to be really specific. And then 0.01. So pretty small increment of time right here. Then you will set the brightness effect to -90. And then wait a slightly shorter or longer amount of time, 0.01 to 0.5 seconds. And then afterwards, you set brightness to -100 after the attack is over. And then you repeat 50 times. Change the brightness effect by 2. And then set the brightness effect to 0. Which will make it so that after the attack is over, your screen goes completely black and then slowly gets brightened again, just like how it does when you normally get attacked by a enemy. So let's set up the flickers for when you're flashing the light at the hallway for Foxy. So we do game start. And then inside of a repeat until, we say we will set office main hall flickers to 0. And then we will wait until, grab a greater than symbol. Wait until office main hall flickers is greater than 0. And then wait 3 seconds. So you start flickering, it waits 3 seconds, and then it'll set it back to 0. So to counteract that, when I receive game start, repeat until. You will wait until your flashlight button is pressed, which in my case is space, could be control, could be anything you want. Then we grab an if statement and put it underneath. Put an and statement inside. Put equals in the first half. Say camera up equals 0. And mask up equals 0. We will change office main hall flickers by 1. And the reason we check if camera up is 0 and mask up is 0, so that if you're flashing your light while in your cameras or while your mask is up, it's not actually counting the flickers. So like you can't flash the camera in the lights and also have it keep Foxy at bay. And then you wait until not key space press, so you can't just hold down the space button either and have the flickers go up really, really fast. So you actually have to flicker the lights over and over again. So let's grab another when I receive game start, and we'll set some of these variables that haven't been set yet, such as, just grab the in offices. So Withered Bonnie in office, set to 0. Withered Chica in office, set to 0. And Withered Freddy in office, set to 0. You can also clear the graphic effects, and then set the office code to 000. There we go. We will grab a when I receive and type in camera hide for when the characters are in our office. Setting up the attacks here. Make the office go to 0 when the camera is hidden and it starts at the middle. Grab a if else statement. Say equals, and we'll start with Toy Freddy. So if toy Freddy in office equals, or if toy Freddy location, not in office, if toy Freddy location equals in office, then we will wait 2 seconds and repeat until mask up equals 0. Or repeat until, excuse me, keep this out. Repeat until toy Freddy in office equals 0. And inside of this repeat until, we grab an if and put mask up equals 0. If at any point toy Freddy is in your office and your mask comes up or your mask isn't on, then we broadcast death.animatronic.toy Freddy. And then stop the script. There we go. Duplicate what we have here. And now we check if Withered Bonnie location is in office. And then this should be Withered Bonnie in office. This is death.animatronic.withered Bonnie. Now we do it for Withered Chica. So Withered Chica location. And then Withered Chica in office would make death.animatronic.withered Chica. And then we do Withered Freddy location. And then Withered Freddy in office. We do death.animatronic.withered Freddy. Great, you can set this last one to just an if statement. There we go, that's when the camera is on camera hide. And we're going to duplicate what we just made, actually, this camera hide one. You can get rid of the go to 0, 0. If toy Freddy location is in office, you can get rid of everything here. Whoop. Get rid of all the things inside of each of these, because we're going to broadcast animatronic dot in office dot toy Freddy. And for Withered Bonnie, animatronic dot in office dot withered Bonnie. Animatronic dot in office dot withered Chica. And then animatronic dot in office dot withered Freddy. There we go, to broadcast that we are being attacked by them. So now we find this piece of code. Game start, set office code 2000. You can get that out of there right now since we already did that. So this is where we were checking for our office code to be a normal empty one. And then we set the scrolling of the office. And we moved on to this section. We have a lot to do. So get ready. So let's start with the vents at the bottom here, since they will probably be the easiest to set up. So we're going to take out what we have. We will bring it back, but we're taking it out for now. And we'll grab an if else. And what you can do is you can duplicate this, but we're going to grab an and. We're going to say if costume left light button, if costume number left light button is 2, meaning it is on, and equals, let's start with Balloon Boy. Balloon Boy location is office left air vent. Then we set our office code. Set office code to BB00, because that is what the name of it is in our costumes. Look at the names of our costumes. We see BB00 is when BB is sitting in the vent. So make sure that these names are equal to whatever the names of your costumes are. Let's duplicate this. I'll move this guy up a little bit. I'll move him up there. And do Toy Chica next. Let's do Toy Chica. Toy Chica location equals office left air vent. You will set the code to Toy Chica 00. Great. Now we can grab this left light and change it to right light button equals 2. And we'll do Toy Bonnie. Toy Bonnie location equals office right air vent. Switch it to 00 Toy Bonnie. The office code so that we're setting it to the right costume. And then we have Mangle to do. So we'll set Mangle location to office right air vent. Set it to 00 Mangle. Then that script that we had before, that we can just put in that final else statement. And there we go. We are done with the vents on the sides. Now we have to do the hallway. So let's take out this office code being 000. And let's grab an if-else statement and put it inside right here. Have to grab an and. And now we'll put equals. So we'll start with the double combinations of characters. So if Mangle location equals office main hall and Foxy's location, Withered Foxy's location, also equals office main hall, we'll set the office code to 0 Withered Foxy plus Mangle 0. Because again, that is the name of the costume that does that. Yep, see? Withered Foxy and Mangle, we called it 0 Withered Foxy plus Mangle 0. So that's why I'm setting the code to that. Second one that can possibly happen is if Withered Bonnie and Foxy or Withered Bonnie and Withered Foxy are in the main hall. So Withered Bonnie location, we'd set this to 0 Withered Foxy plus Withered Bonnie 0. Fantastic. There we go. Those are all the double combinations. So we can remove this and state now and just have one. And say, let's just do Foxy. Withered Foxy. Withered Foxy location is office main hall. Set the office code to 0 Withered Foxy 0. And you really need to make sure you're spelling these right. So if something ever isn't working, check your spelling here. Then, ooh, that's Withered Chica. That's not Withered Foxy. Withered Foxy. Now let's do Withered Bonnie. Withered Bonnie location is office main hall. Set it to 0 Withered Bonnie 0. Mangle can show up by herself. So Mangle location 0 Mangle 0. Toy Chica can show up by herself. So we have to find Toy Chica location. And do 0 Toy Chica 0. And then Withered Freddy. I forgot about Withered Freddy. Withered Freddy can also be here alone. So Withered Freddy location equals that. We do 0 Withered Freddy 0. And if else, we bring down that original set office code because it's an empty hall. And then down here, this other else should still be full of 000. And there you go. That's how you see every single animatronic in the hall too. Now we have to set up the attacks for the other animatronics that aren't Bonnie. So let's grab our Bonnie attack sprite and switch this to Toy Freddy attack. Or our animatronic.inoffice.toyfreddy. Right? We instead set Toy Freddy in office to 1 we need to do. So we have to set Toy Freddy in office to 1 once he enters the office. And then we can remove this, put it like this. We have to repeat 20 times. So do 20. Right after the second wait, drag this out and put it at the bottom. And here we go. Animatronic Toy Freddy. This still says Toy Bonnie, so I have to fix that before I forget. So Toy Freddy in office. We will duplicate this now and do animatronic in office Withered Bonnie. Set Withered Bonnie in office to 1. Repeat. Don't forget, after this repeat is over, that you set Toy Freddy in office or any character in office to 0. Definitely do not forget to do that. It's very important. Whoop. So Withered Bonnie in office to 0. Then the next character, Withered Chica. Chica in office. Same thing here. Withered Chica in office. And then we got one more. Withered Freddy. Withered Freddy in office. And Withered Freddy in office. Don't forget to save. And there you got all the possible attacks done for the office, which is really everything you're gonna need. So let's go ahead and take a look and see. Oh, look at that. Our crazy Bonnie doesn't hide. Our crazy little Bonnie guy doesn't disappear. That is because we forgot to add the most important script. When I receive menu, hide, and stop other scripts in the sprite. Okay, let's try that again. All right, here we go. Let's press new game. I'm not going to be showing you I'm not going to be playing the audio because I don't have headphones on and I don't want it to echo. So let's take a look here. Okay, first night. We might have some layering problems, and layering problems are not hard to fix. Here, let me turn on my interpolation so that it moves a lot smoother. Okay, we see we got the mask. We got the cameras. Okay, our desk shows and our button shows, but we can fix that. So we can switch through the cameras. We can turn our stuff on. And look at all the cameras. Oh, look at that. We got a little bit of a bug, but we can fix that. That won't be a problem. That's just something in our creating. Oh, look at that. Mangle is showing when she doesn't need to be. We can fix that too. But overall, and we can see that our cameras don't hide once our cameras drop down. So let's fix some of these things. So to fix one problem at a time, let's head over to our camera button sprite and choose when I receive camera hide. We will set camera up to 0. And that fixes the problem of the cameras not hiding when the camera comes down. Let's flip up the camera just so we can see. And work with the desk to make the desk go backwards. So 5 layers isn't enough. We can try 6. That doesn't work. Let me disable the compiler so we can actually check it. Flip it up. The desk is in the way. 6 doesn't work. We can try 7. We can try 8. It's really just putzing around with numbers until you find something that works. 10 doesn't work. Does 15 work? 15 doesn't work. Does 20 work? 20 doesn't work. Does 50 work? No, 50 doesn't work. Does 100 work? 100 doesn't work. Does 1,000 work? No. Okay. Well, here's another thing that we can do. And keep that 5 layers. But inside of here, we can also check and move this and camera up equals 0. That'll hide it whenever the camera is up. So when you prop the camera down, the desk shows back up. Cool. What's the next problem we notice? Well, if we come here, Bonnie can't move, and yet Bonnie is can't be seen, so that's an issue. But Chica should be able to be seen, right? Nope. We are on the Freddy camera, and then another problem I noticed was Mangle showing up, and then another one was in camera 4, when the lights are off, Toy Bonnie can be seen. So let's fix some of these problems. Let's start with the Toy Bonnie problem in the party room. Yep, see, look at this. So what we can do is set this light Toy Bonnie. I set it to a dark Toy Bonnie, or else I set it to dark, and that should solve the Bonnie problem. I really shouldn't stop this game, so we can just test it out as we go along really fast, fixing any little bugs that we find. Let's take a look. Pop up the camera. Go to 4, or is it 3? No, it was 4. Yep. Now we can see that Bonnie is no longer there. Another one we noticed was the parts and service room. So let's head over to parts and service and see what the problem is. So when our light goes on, we see Withered Bonnie is equal to 0, so that's not a problem. Withered Chica is 0. Withered Freddy is 8. Withered Chica is 0. Oh, okay, well that's the problem. Withered Chica and Withered Bonnie aren't starting at 8 when the game starts. So if we head over to their AI, head over to Withered Bonnie's AI, we can check what happens when the game starts. Yep, the game starts and nothing happens. So with the game starting, what we can do is we can say, when the game starts, we can set Withered Bonnie location to 8 or 08. It doesn't really matter. 8 or 08, doesn't matter. Just put 8 down, and then we can go to Withered Chica as well. And under game start, do Withered Chica location to 8. That's Withered Bonnie. There we go. Save it. We can start the game up and we can see if the problem's fixed. I still have camera up showing. There we go. Okay, let's open this up. Just come here. We can see that the animatronics, all 3 of them are showing. So that's that problem solved. Feels good. Okay, next problem I noticed was Mangle showing up in the wrong spot, and it looked like Mango was just in the vent there, and so was Endo. It looks like they were just adjusting themselves though as he first went in, so that problem shouldn't happen again now. Yep, so let's fix the Mangle problem. Head over to Mangle and see what's going on. So as you can see, Mangle doesn't have a costume that is nothing, which that doesn't need to be the case. Mangle doesn't need to be nothing. Doesn't need to have a nothing costume. So let's just take a look at her showing code to see if we mess something up. If camera up is 1, switch costume to camera number. So camera number is 12. And 12, as we see, doesn't actually exist in her code because it is switching it to 7. So if it's saying that camera number is 12, which it is, then she should be switching her costume number to 12. And we see she doesn't actually have a 12 costume to switch it to. So that's not necessarily a problem. Let's keep looking. If Mangle location, which is 12, is equal to the camera number, then she shows or hides. Okay, so all we need to do to fix this problem is make a separate sprite that is nothing and call it 12. As you see there, that already fixed the problem of Mangle showing up when she shouldn't. Now that that's there, it doesn't show up anymore. The music box is showing. It holds down pretty well. It does that little blinky effect when we click on it. Looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any other immediate problems. Everything seems pretty set to me. We can flash the hall. We can flash the lights. Put the mask up. We can see that the light buttons show through the mask. So let's go ahead and see if we can't fix that. Let's head to our left light button. And this is where we'd put in those layers. Go backwards 20 layers. Let's see what happens if we flip the camera down. Does it do that little flicker thing? It doesn't. Okay. We can come to this one as well and put the go backwards 20 layers in. Flip up the mask and we see that the light button is now behind it and we can't click it. We can't shine the light. We can't click the buttons while the mask is up. That's good. That's exactly what we want. And everything is looking good. we have a pretty functional game with no problems. I don't see any other ones. We see the music box is going down, and as we hold it, it winds itself back up. And then every few seconds, every 7 seconds it should be, since it's night 1, this music box should begin to fall every few seconds. There we go. We see it falls there. Looks like these guys are still waiting to move. I'm not seeing any other immediate issues. Everything appears to be working just fine. So fantastic. All right. I'm not going to sit here and wait for attacks. If anybody notices problems with those, you can tell me in the comments below if there's any problems with attacks. And if there is, I'll address it. But it should be working for the most part. Again, I'm not going to sit here and wait around for one. If you guys have problems, let me know. But that should be it for this episode, I believe. Yes, it is. We finished everything on the list. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it and found this helpful, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It means a lot. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.